Good afternoon, everyone. I, on behalf of All India Management Association, welcome you all to yet another session of the case competition and conference. And I'm sure these 2 days which have passed by have been really hectic for all of you, being either presenting your case studies or being part of our panel discussions, which were lined up on day 24th. I'm sure you must have enjoyed those sessions which we held on 24th, and the key takeaways would have been there. And we are really delighted to see the type of competition we were able to get yesterday. Yesterday we had almost 60 cases presented from the 75 entries that we had, and these were held in 9 parallel sessions. And I'm really thankful to all the people who have taken up the call to write cases for this competition. I'm sure this competition is going to be a great learning journey for all of you, because this journey is just the beginning. We have many more things to happen into this process. And as we take on our journey a little further, yesterday all of the jury members did a fantastic job for us. I think I am really blessed to have such great jury members with us. Almost 25 jury members were there yesterday to judge the cases, and we had almost 120 people presenting the cases yesterday. So it was a great academic activity which happened yesterday. I'm sure today would be again a very great input which we are going to witness now. So yesterday when we were presenting the cases, a lot of reviews were shared with the participants. And today, to take it further, we have designed up a special session, and we have invited 3 special guests to take us through the editor's choice session. And before I move further to and introduce the guest of the days, I would like to thank all the partners for this conference. This conference was a great initiative which we had taken up last year. In 2020-21, we started with the case competition for the very first time. And that time we had EFMD and the Case Center as our partner. But this year we could add a few more partners with us, and we are really grateful to the new partners who have helped us out. The Hong Kong Business School and the AIMSA, and probably in this coming time, we would be seeing more action happening from all the supporting case centers across the world. We had a very good support from the our partners at IIM Bangalore and IIM Calcutta. They have been and ISB. We could see their speakers in our session, so I'm sure these were very fantastic relationship building which has happened into the area of case study and case study development, which is a very niche area. We are very thankful to Mr. Ajit Balakrishnan, who has been supporting us into getting up these case studies, which are India-centric case studies being published through our case center. Today, we are now at a verge where we are very proud to say that we had some of the very good case studies which were presented, which were at par with the case studies published with the leading publication houses across the world. And I'm sure this initiative that AIMA had taken would really help a lot of case researchers across Indian B schools to take this journey further, and would really be benefited not only from the case writing process, but also how to really teach through cases and their own journey as a case, as a teacher, as a faculty member in the Management Institute. And today we have a very special session. This very special session is across the editor's choice. And this is where we are talking about how we should be really handling up the review process, the comments that you would have received in your presentation, and the comment you are about to receive from the review, which would happen after the cases, the second stage of case review that would happen through our case center or any other case center that you would be submitting. So here in this session, this is a very special session where we are talking about the process of evaluation and how to handle reviewers' comment, And to really do that, I think we could have no better person than the three panelists, Dr. Radha Sharma, currently the Dean Research and heading up the academic linkages at New Delhi Institute of Management, and a former alumni, I would say, of MDI, where she was there as a champion of heading up the one of the most prestigious journal of MDI, with almost 4 decades of experience in teaching, research, academic administration, management development, consulting, with the core area of organizational behavior and human resources. Dr. Sharma comes with a wide range of experiences as a consultant, as a teacher, and as a researcher into the area of human resources. But I have invited her for a very, very special reason, because she had pioneered setting up the Case Research Center at MDI, where she had contributed a lot, and also the journal which was being taken care by her, which reached the confidence of becoming one of the major journal to be listed into the ABDC category of journal and into the A category journal. And today she's also been heading up a lot of other initiatives in terms of being the associate editor with Frontiers in Psychology, which is again a category journal into the ABDC ranking. And a vision I've already spoken, and she has been part of a lot of other business perspective related to ABDCs and Scopus ranking. And welcome Dr. Radha Sharma on this panel. And
you want me to start, or you?
I'll just introduce my speaker. So along with Dr. Radha Sharma, today we would be joined here very shortly by Dr. Shalini Rahul Tiwari. She is an associate editor for emerging market case studies, and she is associate professor at IMT Ghaziabad. She will be joining us in a while. And along with her, we have Angela Yan. Angela comes from Hong Kong Business School, Asia Case Research Center, one of the most prestigious case centers of the world. I think they have pioneered the concept of case writing and have taken up cases to the masses. And Angela is part of the Asia Case Research Center at Hong Kong, set in at Hong Kong Business School, where she's heading up the cases from the Chinese origin. And she has done a fantastic job. I mean, if you look into the number of cases which have reached up the center and the way they have scaled up, this has been a fantastic activity. And she has been part of how the case gets submitted at the Asia Case Research Center. What is the rigor? What is the process? And how do they really handle the journey of a young case author who is starting their publication for the very first time? So we would like to hear a lot from her and her experiences into a little different geography, which is based on Hong Kong and China experience. And with this, I would not really want to spend more time. I would like to welcome Dr. Radha Sharma onto the platform. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Dr. Anuja, for a very generous introduction. At the outset, I would like to congratulate the entire AIMA team for organizing this case writing competition and the conference. And I thank Dr. Raj Agrawal, for giving me this opportunity to share my thoughts with the case writers, faculty, and the academic fraternity present on this platform this afternoon. I'm rooted in Indian ethos, which advocates that let the noble thoughts come to us from all directions. Hence, whatever I would share would be based not only on my published cases, but also on my learnings at Harvard Business School, at the Academy of Management as Chair Carolyn Dexter Award, and also as jury for case competitions nationally and internationally, and of course as editor of various journals over the years. So I would like to keep my remarks simple. In my view, it would help if an editor has been a case writer to be able to appreciate the nuances of case writing, and it would doubly help if he or she has been a case faculty as well, because in that position, one would be able to appreciate the pain points and expectations of case teaching. So the first and foremost thing a case writer has to decide while planning to write a case is whether one wants to write a teaching case or a research case. The two types of cases have different objectives and have different style of writing. While teaching cases, I'm sure you're all familiar with, you have written, you have gone through the entire exercise over the past 2.5 days. I don't need to explain to you. And these are very popular with business schools and business students and faculty and may have better economic returns. However, research cases can lead to knowledge creation and theory building. I have written and published both. I developed teaching cases and presented at Academy of Management conferences, URAM, and other conferences and so on. And these are being used in global classrooms. They are part of global case books on different themes, on different subjects. So that is not an issue. But somehow I feel more stimulated by developing research cases. So what is research case? What are the differences? What is this case writing all about? To me, case writing is an art as well as a science. Now, to me, a research case is like painting on a canvas. The artist has the choice to paint whatever one likes. It could be a portrait, it could be a scene, it could be a situation. The artist is also free to choose the color. The artist is also free to choose the strokes that one would like to have, and also what is the effect that the artist would like to create on the people who see the painting later. So since the session is focused on what editors look for in a case, so I would like to quickly come to the points which I as an editor or others who have been looking at my cases have probably focused on are a few points. Number one is originality. Now, this is very important. Whatever we are writing the case on, whether it's original, the concept, idea, and practice. Now, the general feeling that we find among business school faculty and also scholars is that the case should be about a great company. It should be about the best practice. It should be about the recent trend. But somehow, my experience, my personal experience has been somewhat different. And I'll tell you how. I, with a scholar of mine, wrote a case on Nirbhaya. And I'm sure those from India, they know about this case of December 16, 2012, when a girl was gang raped, was in a moving bus. And this had created headlines, and it was a very, very difficult and situation. It was a very, very anguishing situation. And, as an academic, I felt like writing about it, and one would wonder what could be the academic learning from this. And around that time, I got a call from European Academy of Management, and the session was crisis management. And I just sent this co-authored case across. And not only that, it was appreciated by the audience present there, I was approached by the editor of a well-known journal to pass on this case for publishing. And you may be surprised to know that this case has got 42,248 reads on ResearchGate as of yesterday. Later, BBC made a film on it. And in fact, I was approached by a couple of public agencies as to how to make the city safe for girls, and what are the implications, policy implications of this case about the safety of girls in a city like Delhi. So this is what I was trying to say, that this particular case that I mentioned is based on an incident. They're not fancy things. There is nothing ideal about it. It was all very, very challenging. And when we started writing, we were also not clear whether we'll reach an end, because it went through the entire legal process. And at that time, nothing was known what would happen. So at one time we were thinking of, withdrawing this case from the website because we didn't know what we were into. When we wrote, we didn't realize it was an expression of our concern for the girls, and this kind of violence against them. So this was originality. The second point I think editors look for is novelty. Novelty, whether the case is adopting a novel approach, a novel perspective, is it about an uncharted territory, whether it is extending an existing theory, whether it's building a model. And again, as I said, that I'll use my experience. I have done that. And I again used a different unique or less used research methodology to study phenomenon about leadership and presented again at Academy of Management in 2017, and you know how difficult it is. So this was one case. Another case which I would say had some novelty was that there was a news item that in one of the well-known auto industry in Gurgaon, there was an accident, and the accident was that a robot killed a worker. So these days we are talking about robotics, introducing robotics in industry and manufacturing industry and so on, which helps. It can be, a great support. It can be a great facilitator in increasing productivity. But in this case, this was a very sad incident. So we went through the entire, event and came up with what could be done by an organization of this kind, and how could such events be prevented in the future. So it had policy implications. Again, it had points for HR department to consider, for making the workplace a safe place. So now the third point, according to me, is value added. What is the value add we do? So I'm sure you are all familiar, every case should have some learning embedded in it. There should be theoretical underpinnings. And again, I'll maybe refer to one of the cases that I worked on, where I embedded one of the less popular theories, which was developed by Lawrence and Noharia, the dean of Harvard Business School. And in fact, I shared the case with him, and it was published by Ivy. And this has been used extensively, across geographies, and was also translated in Spanish. There was another case which I wrote on Tata Nano, was translated into Spanish and was being used in Nigeria, Mexico, and some European countries. So some of these cases where the tension was between business and humanism, can these two go together? So likewise, so if there is some kind of new perspective, some value add which is there, I think that probably attracts the attention. And all these are published by great publishers. So this is what it is. These are all India-centric cases, but somehow, I published there. And then the next point is rigor and difficulty. Because if we want, as I said, case writing is an art as well as a science. So art is about your presentation, and science is all about rigor and a methodology. How do you emphasize a point? How do you prove a point? How do you come up? How do you do triangulation? How do you convince a reader what you are suggesting, or what your case is suggesting, or what your protagonist is, deciding whether it is valid or not? So in order to give that perspective, you have to adopt methodology which takes care of these aspects. And finally, it will be the style. Obviously, I'm sure you're all well aware the style has to be engaging. It needs to arouse curiosity. It can have a captivating start, and then, of course, the case can build on. And embedded in this would be the level of difficulty. If it's a story, I think editors don't find it interesting. Story is fine. There's always a story in a case, but how the story is dealt with, that's what is more important. So therefore, what is the level of case difficulty? How is it treated? What are the conceptual aspects? What are the presentation aspects? And all these things, I think, the editors look for, and when they are deciding about a case, and then of course it goes through review. So one final point which I'll make is about publishing, and since I have been associated with various journals, some journals publish the case analysis along with the case. And some journals or some books do not publish the teaching notes along with that. Rather, they keep it, but if faculty requires, they may pass on later. So you have to decide about what you want to do. And you have also to think of the outlet for your case so that you prepare yourself accordingly. Also, you would know, and I'm sure these 2.5 days, have given you enough inputs about the size of the case, depending on, which case publishing house or where you want to publish or in what form you want to publish. So all that will have, the guidelines provided by the publisher, or even AIMA has got its own style and requirement. So those of you who are submitting your cases to AIMA Case Research Center, India Case Research Center, that would be great. In fact, I congratulate the entire team, and I've been associated with them for a couple of years. They are doing fantastic job. When I have been writing cases, there were no takers, nobody cared for Indian cases. And that's why I had to look for outlets outside the country. Now I'm suddenly seeing a shift that, people are interested in India-centric cases in India, and these are being encouraged. And thanks to AIMA for promoting it in a big way. So that is all from my side to start with, and maybe if people have questions, I'll come back.
Thank you, Dr. Radha Sharma. I think it was a wonderful insight that you have shared. I think all the 4 points that you made about a quality of a research paper or a research case or a teaching case, all the 4 qualities, I think these were the things that we were actually also looking for yesterday: the originality, the relevance, the value adds, the rigor. I think that was wonderfully spoken by and discussed by you. I'm sure very, very simplified way. I'm sure this would really benefit us a lot. And I'm sure the experience that you have, having been trained at Harvard and then been publishing with almost every business school which is of repute, which has a case center of repute, you have been part of that. So I'm sure we will look forward for some more insights from you onto handling up the challenges of the reviewer comment in a little while. And at this point, I would invite Angela. Angela has been, as I said, part of the Asia Case Research Center. And she has been handling a lot of cases which have been written by their own faculty. And how does this works with her case center is something which we'd like to hear. And probably from her experiences, we'd like to benefit today. So, a very warm welcome, Angela, on this platform.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I feel extremely honored to have this opportunity to join this meeting, the Zoom meeting. Good afternoon, everyone. When I say this, I realize it's actually evening in Hong Kong. We have two and a half time difference between Hong Kong and India. My name is Angela. I am a senior manager at Asia Case Research Center. We also call it AIMA-ICRC at Hong Kong U Business School. I spearhead the case writing about companies and organizations in China and across Asia. I also play a role in development and management of relations with internal and external stakeholders, including business partners, distribution partners, and faculty members. I am also responsible for the case development process, from the identification of faculty needs to the sourcing of case companies and editing and publishing of case studies. A bit about myself: my professional experience are in marketing and management consulting. Before joining Hong Kong HKU Business School, I worked in higher education institutions, including Ivy Business School and the City University of Hong Kong. I also worked in corporates, including Microsoft and Dell, as well as professional service companies of Arthur Andersen. I received my Bachelor of Economics degree from Fudan University in China, and also MBA from Ivy Business School. That's the University of Western Ontario in Canada. And about AICRC, our center, we were affiliated with Hong Kong U Business School. It was founded in 1977, at that time to address the need for rich business cases with an Asia focus. The AICRC is committed to the advancement of learning and teaching in business education and strive to promote leading management thinking through research on the latest practices in Asia-Pacific business environment. We are the region's largest producer of quality business cases. We boast a repertoire of over 600 business cases drawn from a vast range of industries and cross-disciplinary areas, written by scholars from universities within and outside Asia-Pacific region. Our cases are distributed globally through our own website, as well as those of Harvard Business School Publishing, Ivy Publishing, and the Case Center. I believe everybody is very familiar with the case method. The case method is originated from the Harvard Business School in early 1910s. I think right now they were celebrating 111 years of case teaching. The case method is rapidly gaining popularity in Asia as an effective medium for teaching concepts and series and for bringing everyday relevance into the classroom. So a business case in itself is a description of a real management issues or situations, commonly involving a challenge or opportunity faced by an organization. The case asks readers to step into the shoes of a key person within the organization, analyze the situation, develop alternatives and plans of action and implementation, and communicate and defend their findings in small groups and or in class. So what does developing a case look like in AICRC? So here in our center, each case starts with a course outline in which a faculty member lists the concept and the series he or she plans to teach. Once we understand the teaching need, we look for a company whose business activities could be used to address them. And we invite said company to collaborate with us on case development. While a case requires background information from published sources, the real strength of a case comes from including the perspective of the key decision makers in the company. Hence, it is vital to interview the relevant company executives. The first interview typically lasts 1 to 1.5 hours and is intended to help further define the potential issue around which the case will be written. After the interview, we will prepare a case outline, identifying the issue and listing various chapters as well as relevant data we plan to include in our case. We will share this outline with the company for feedback and approval. Sometimes we do have second shorter interview. That interview is scheduled to discuss the issue in more detail. This time, we will also request earlier identify the data, for example, background information, company PowerPoint presentation, and so on. With the material in hand, the faculty member and the case writer will it will then be sent to the company for verification, correction of any error, and eventually release. The approved draft of the case will also be sent to the editor, who will make sure the case is free of grammatical, spelling, and the style error before it is published. So we might ask, what makes a good case. A case is not written to demonstrate correctness or effectiveness of a management issue, but to facilitate students' decision-making and problem-solving skills through discussion and critical analysis of a management situation. The best case conveys the ambiguity present in the situations. The perspective, relevance, and sometimes the personality and attention to the case. The setting in terms of location, issue, industry, and time increases the relevance of the case to the target audience. There are usually at least two apparently viable alternative decisions or solutions to the case, and there is no inevitable conclusion. So when we develop a case, what is the timeline for writing the case with AICRC? Every situation is different, we would say. A typical case takes 3 to 6 months to write and revise. The case is professionally edited, reviewed by the subject company, converted into secure PDF format and submitted for registration. This generally takes another month, I would say. Usually the case is then taught ad hoc on you, and based on the class expertise, the class experience, the case may be fine-tuned to address areas where more clarity or information is needed. And we distribute, as I said earlier, we do distribute our cases on our own website, which is www.acrc.hku.hk. We also distribute our cases through Harvard platform, case platform, and Ivy and the Case Center. So this is a very, I wouldn't say brief, but it's just a general introduction of our case center and also how we develop a case. I would be very happy to take any questions either now or later in this Zoom meeting. Thank you very much.
Great, thank you, Angela. I think it was very, very insightful, and the process that your center follows is something which is very interesting. I mean, thinking about a case first, the lines first, and then reaching out to the organization, setting up the first initial interview with the organization, and then working out with a detailed outline of the case, and then finally writing up the case and getting up the organization NOC. That's really, I mean, this is the rigor. Ideally, I mean, we are all trying to follow the cases which are developed through our banner, but this is a very, very rigorous process where, I mean, the major challenge that we face at India, I don't know about China and would like to hear about it, is the openness of the organization to accept faculties to really come in and write cases on issues which might be very critical to them.
Right. I understand the situation. I would say I could definitely see there is some similarity between the situation in India and the situation in China. Asian companies in general are more, I wouldn't say conservative, but they sometimes do have more concern over, for example, confidentiality issues, or, you know, having someone that is to say the case readers to judge the company. This is an issue I myself sometimes faced when I was writing a case about a Chinese company. So what we usually do, we convey the message very clearly upfront to the company that the case is not to judge or not to, you know, evaluate the correctness or effectiveness or efficiency of the management. it provides opportunity for the students to think and to learn. So sometimes the companies that they are very, nice, or I can say that, or they are a bit more open-minded, they accept the idea. But at the same time, we also let them know, okay, having our case, having a case published about the company, these are the best to your company and the people in your company. First of all, you work with us, you work with, the in my case, Hong Kong U Business School, that is the leading business school in Hong Kong. You are making an impact in the next generation of business leaders. Second of all, when you work with us, you learn the perspective of the faculty members, the case writers, and we will be provided with the feedback if you want of the students using this case. And also, when you have this case published, sometimes the companies decided to use the case for their internal learning purpose. We welcome that. So with all these information provided to the company, I believe some of the companies will be more comfortable with having a group of people, faculty member or case writers joining the company, talking to some of the executives to learn about their business and to write a case. And also we would emphasize that, in the case when we ask the students to stand in the shoes of the executive, for example, to make decisions, there are always, alternatives. There are always pros and cons of this solution and that. So the idea is really, find the solution, make a judgment call of the situation, evaluate the solutions you propose against various criteria and propose the solution to, the professors and the students in the classroom, right? So when you do that, the idea is not to judge, but to learn and also, to improve. There is another, we all talked about primary source case. So this is something that we prefer, but at the same time, we do have secondary source case. So these, when we talk about secondary source case, you probably can imagine what it's about from the name. So the information in that case is obtained through the public channel. So if interviewing a company is not possible, or if to meet the specific needs of faculty member in teaching, we cannot find immediately a company that's accessible for us, then we gather information, from secondary source, public information to write a case. This is another type of case we will publish. So yeah, I hope it answers the question, or we can open this for further discussion.
No, I think it answered it quite well. And I would like to really ask the same question to Dr. Radha Sharma, because she has also been writing a lot of primary data cases. So maybe let's hear from her the openness of Indian organization about sharing up their platforms for faculty to visit and really write up a case. How open are Indian organization?
Thank you for the question. Yes, Indian companies, they vary regarding openness. So before I plan to write a case, I approach them. This is what our objective is, and this is the nature of data that we'll look for. And then they may say that, okay, even to interview the people and to access their files, etc. They would allow some, or they would say that go for the published data on the website. or the secondary sources or the annual report and things of this kind. So we do that. I've been doing that. And finally, before it is published, we have to take clearance from the company. So it is sent to the company, and then sometimes it takes time. But I've been able to do that. So that's why, my approach, for cases has been that, whatever interests me, what I think would add value and things of this kind, rather than just writing about the company, because there are lots of cases already available on great companies. So this is there, but my choice of writing a case not starts with the company. The choice of writing a case starts with whether it's going to be a teaching case or a research case, and what are the questions behind it, what is the objective, and what is going to meet the objective. So this is how it is, and some cases that I've shared, and there's a long list. So yeah, this is how it is. You're muted, Dr. Anuja.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Radha. I think it was very insightful. I think you have written cases into many organizations, and you have got an access to all the organizations. Still, you use the prerogative of your choice to really what to write and what not to write. That's where a brilliant author comes in place. And I'm equally joined by I'm joined here by Dr. Shalini Rahul Tiwari. Welcome, Dr. Tiwari, on this platform. Dr. Rahul Tiwari has been heading up the Emerald Emerging Market Case Study Center. She has been associate editor with that journal, a journal which has been picked up by Indian faculties a lot. I mean, all of us refer to that journal very often. And I think since this journal focuses on to the emerging market, and probably that's the reason why a lot of Indian cases reach out to your journal. We would like to hear from you. I mean, a very warm welcome to this platform. And I would like to, since we are already in the mid of a discussion, we would like to hear from you as to what does it take to really get a case published at Emerald Emerging Market Case Journal.
Thank you very much, Professor Anuja, first of all, for inviting me to this glorious panel. Good afternoon to all the panelists and all the participants. I joined in late because there was another workshop going on case teaching and writing for Vang Lang University at Vietnam, where I was supposed to speak. And as soon as it got over, I'm here. So really sorry for joining in late. And sharing my observations on the emerging market case studies journal process. I think it is similar to what the other platforms observe, whether we get them published in IV or WDI or NACRA. So the process is the same, but the focus is on the cases coming from emerging markets or emerging countries. And why the focus is on those kind of cases is because the context is absolutely different. The context defines the decision to a certain extent. So that's the reason why the focus is on emerging markets. We encourage cases from all kinds of emerging markets. Sometimes we do come out with certain special issues with a focus on a certain aspect. For example, there could be an issue of sustainability in emerging markets. There could be an issue of like entry strategies in emerging markets. So those are specialized issues. But otherwise, we welcome all kinds of cases coming from all aspects, all kinds of businesses, be it small businesses, large businesses. We also publish, and that's a little different from all other publishing platforms, is that we are looking at real and live cases. That's one thing, but we can also, we also accept cases which are written based on published information. So secondary source based cases are also welcome in this particular journal. But we do have a preference for the real cases. And our turnaround time is also shorter because as a team, we work really hard to get the cases as soon as we receive them on the editor's desk. We try to match them and find the appropriate reviewers for them and immediately push them across. And there is a constant follow-up with the reviewers to get their feedback on time, which is given back to the authors. And we continuously work with the authors towards improvement of the cases. So that way we provide all that help which is there. All the guidelines are mentioned on the website in order to write a good case and a good teaching note. Every kind of information is present, so authors can refer to that. Besides, as editors, it is our responsibility also to interact with various business schools and institutions, and we can hold short webinars or let's say workshops to help prospective authors in refining their case ideas, in doing a better job in terms of writing. So that also we provide as a moral obligation, that we want to encourage lots and lots of cases from the emerging markets. That is primary. I see a question right in front of me. I'm just trying to answer that because I was coming to that next. Most of the time, we prefer cases. In fact, most of the time when I say it is like 99% of the cases, there needs to be a clearly defined theory or a framework for that particular case. So it's not a story that we are inviting. We do not invite any kind of a story. It's a story which is backed by a theoretical concept. So that's one of the guiding criteria for us, or a judging criteria for us. If it is not linked to a proper framework, theory, if we find that it is not making any meaningful contribution towards the learning objectives of the students, then we do not accept it. So that is a primary criteria. Other than that, several other criteria remain the same.
Great. I think this is something which is, again, a lot of our authors who have joined us today would be looking forward, the turnaround time and the evaluation process, the hand-holding which is required. So I think, and before we move on to some of the questions which are there into the chat box, one very small question which we have, which I would like to ask, because a lot of time what happens with our case center is that there would be remarks from the reviewers and the jury, which would be something which is very, very adverse. A lot of time the case might have been, typically it happens with the secondary data cases, where the case has been written in more of information format, where the clear-cut action points or the dilemmas have not been built up strongly. And then the reviewer comment is very adverse, which says that you need to rewrite the case, complete case. It's not just few paragraphs or few sections, but it is a complete case which needs to be rewritten. So, and a lot of time, that is the time when we find a lot of people drop out from our case center. So I would want to understand from all three of you, you have been handling up the case centers, that how should this be addressed by a person who has written a case and he gets such kind of a review? How should he be reacting to it?
You like me to go first?
Sure, ma'am.
Okay, so this kind of situation we come across when there are ambitious students, MBA students wanting to write, who have no clue to how to go about it. But those early researchers and scholars who are into it, and if they come from these schools where case writing and case teaching is part of the curriculum, I had introduced this course. In fact, I was teaching this course in Germany, and Germany has got some law where, they are protective about some data. So if one is writing a case, there'll be restrictions. Strategy data will not be allowed to share. So I was teaching at the PhD level. So students were writing fantastic cases, and I encouraged them to publish, but they said, no, we cannot publish. And we used to see this. So this is what it is. So that's why guideline would be that I would recommend that the business school should organize such workshops, or they should be sent to, the organizations like AIMA, or there are a lot of other institutions organizing these workshops, or they be recommended to read some literature on the subject. Because, just putting some things together, I experienced this even about articles. People think that they write anything and everything and it will be accepted. No, because I'm associated with a variety of journals, and I find that some people feel that if I'm writing practitioner's perspective, I need not give any references and so on. So no, they have to be guided, and there has to be hand-holding kind of a thing. And developmental approach, I would say we adopt developmental approach to guide such people when we see there is potential in the case. If there is no potential in the case, then of course we have no option but to regret.
Dr. Anuja, you are muted, please.
Yeah, I think that answered the question to a larger extent. I think we can move on to a few other questions which are emerging onto the panel. I think there is a question directed to Angela. Would you like to read that question, Angela, or should I read?
So you asked me to pick one of the questions, is that?
Yeah, the one that is being targeted.
Okay, sure. I was reading the chat, and then I realized there were quite a few very interesting questions. So can I just pick one of them first? There's a question asking, does the organization ask you to omit certain things and ask you to add any elements? Do you record a discussion and listen to it later? So my understanding of this question is, you asked, do you sometimes get the request from the company to skip certain things, not to mention certain things in your case, and sometimes ask you to add something that they would like to in the case? And also, I think the audience asked, do we record the discussion and listen to it later? Two questions. First of all, when writing a primary data case during the interview, we talk about this and that. And after a while, after sometimes a few rounds of draft submission to them, they review it, they ask us to revise, sometimes to delete certain things they don't want to publish anymore. They might just change their mind. In this case, I would say we handle it case by case. I wouldn't just go confrontational saying, no, you at the first place you agreed. So we will understand why they want to do it, and then decide if that piece of information is critical in the case. And a lot of times we do honor, I would have to say we do honor such a request, because at the end of the day, the case release form needs to be signed and the company need to give us a green light in order for us to publish the case. So we will try to work around this. So we will find any alternative way to, deliver certain information in the case, to present it in front of the readers, or sometimes even we might have to rewrite part or majority part of the case just to honor the request of a company. Having said that, we do not I'm sorry, I just read this. Was I on mute just now?
Yeah, for a few seconds. Yeah.
I was on mute.
Yeah, now it's better now. We can hear you.
Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't realize that. Okay, so I will just repeat what I said. The case, let me just do it a bit fast. So the question is, let me find a question. Does the organization ask you to omit certain things or ask you to add any elements? Do you record the discussion and listen to it later? Okay, I see two questions here. First of all, do we receive, I understand that you are asking, do we receive certain requests from the company to skip or omit certain things, or to emphasize or add something they want to have in the case. And the second question is that during the interview, do you record discussion and later you listen to it? So the first question, yes, we sometimes do receive requests from the company. Sometimes before the interview, sometimes during the interview, sometimes even after the interview, after we submit our draft to them, even a few rounds of revision, the company all of a sudden come to us, say, we don't want that piece of information to be disclosed to show up in the case. What shall we do? I would say we handle it case by case. So we will understand why the company have such a request. They might have a certain concern. They might realize certain information they don't want an outsider to know, or they might be a change of personnel thing. I believe that is related to some of the other questions I saw. So for example, the senior manager or an executive member left the company or left the position, a new person doesn't want to, have the case this way now. So in this case, I'll say we give it a give and a take, approach. We ask the company, is there any other alternative way to present information? Or any other, information you would like us to have in the case. So at the end of the day, we will still be able to, deliver the learning objective. Then if possible, we will try to work that around. And I would have to admit sometimes when that doesn't work, the case might be just leading to, the end, and so we were not able to publish that case. So that is the reality. It's a pity, but it's just that's life. And also during the interview, do we record? We ask for the permission of the company if we can record the interview. Most of the time they do give us a consent, so we will just let them know, now I start to record. The purpose of a recording is just to for the case development purpose, and it's kept confidential. We will not share this with anyone that's not relevant. And so after the interview is done, we will go back to listen to it. We will have better idea, or better memory basically kept, so we can refer to it. And also I realized because now we do a lot of Zoom interview, there is a transcription function. Technically, I really like that. So we don't need to listen to it, only just listen to it. We can read the transcript. That's easier for us. And sometimes the company doesn't want us to record, so we can just take notes, or even they don't allow us to take notes. So we would just have to rely on our memory. I hope that answered the question.
Shall I take that question also?
Yeah,
we do come across situations like this. So it was one case, we were having multiple cases and we were trying to develop something. So there were some executives who didn't want to give their names. So we asked them that, can we give it anonymously? So we take that permission. And recording interviews, yes, that permission has to be taken beforehand. And if they do not agree, then it is not recorded. And sometimes they say that you record it. I'm talking about pre-COVID era, so when there was no Zoom. And then we send it to them, for approval. And if there are some, casual statements or some things which can reflect, poorly on some individual or the organization, then we edit that. That is not a problem. Now, the third issue that was raised in the chat box was about what happens when a person leaves. It has happened with me. So the case, the person who arranged permission left, and he was a very senior person. He was vice president HR. And what do we do? I was not even aware when it happened. So I kept writing. Nobody was responding. Then I wrote to the CEO. Then I again I pursued. And I said that, well, I've spent so much of time and effort, and and the publication outlet also has agreed, but they need this clearance. So, please, unless there is anything objectionable, please tell. Then we'll look into it. But if there's nothing wrong, nothing against the company, then it will only build the brand. So we got the permission, but it took time. Yeah, it happens. Thank you.
Yeah, Dr. Tiwari, how would you like to take this?
Yeah, so all the three issues, I think I have also faced similar situations. So regarding the recording, yes, we always inform the interview in advance, whoever we are interacting with, that we will be recording. If they allow, only then we record. Otherwise, we don't do that. One of the recordings I was also asked the transcription for. So I came back, I transcribed, I sent it back to the person, and we went through it. And the case obviously has to be shared. So whatever stage the case is, the first draft, second draft, we keep on sharing with the person, and so that they can match what they spoke to us about and whatever we have reported. Or also the final case is also sent to them for their clearance and again a go through. In case of the person leaving the organization, so this thing happened, and fortunately in that case, what had happened, our earlier permission was through the HR of that company, the HR department of that company. So fortunately, the person left, the protagonist left, but the HR was in cognizance of the entire situation, and they then helped us out in that manner. But it has also happened other way, that the person left and we were in no way able to break through that situation. We kept on writing. We met the CEO also personally, but it was just not allowed. So it can happen both ways. We always hope for the best, but that's how life is. So if something, it's a lot of effort that we put in, but there is nothing beyond that can be done. So the case is still on my desk. We can't do much about it. We assured them that we will anonymize everything. Even then, they did not agree. So those are the unfortunate instances. We have to live with them. I think. And the third thing was about, I'm forgetting what was it about? It was about recording and the permissions.
Changing the context.
Changing the context from
changing as per the requirement. Some of the time you need to tweak the case. This was where company would want to add up. These were 3 cases. I think one thing, one question is still pending with us, which is posted by Dr. Lata regarding the theory. Should all cases be linked to any theory?
I think that's a valid question and an important question. And at EMCS, as I said earlier, it is here, yes. So we look at that. So outright rejection for a case which is either not linked, or it's just a story, not trying to solve any, or not giving any framework. I would probably use the word theory and a framework. If it is providing some concrete framework, usable framework, valid framework, then it is fine. Otherwise, we don't accept. So that's a must.
And then there is another question which talks about if a real case is stuck only because of the final sign-off not given, would it be advisable to mask the company and the people and submit the case without sign-off?
No, even then you have to take permission from the company. Because whatever we are doing for such cases, even if it is masking the name of the company, the name of the protagonist, whatever, the company has to know about it. So those are the certain ethical practices that one has to follow. I understand the anxiety and the the level of effort that goes into case writing and getting a sign off, but those are few practices that are required. So we have to pursue them. We have to be patient, as Professor Sharma was saying. Sometimes it takes more time than required, but it's worth the wait, and we should keep on pursuing that.
Right. At this point, I'll add up that this is the reason why you can start up your journey with the case centers, because the case centers are generally connected with the industry. So, for example, AIMA has a huge connect with the industry. So this is where we try to pitch in, and we try to convince the organization that this is for a teaching purpose. And it is not for any other reason that we are asking you your permission. And generally, if this has been backed by a good case center and the case center has good network with the organization, they do rely on to the case center's commitment of using it for an academic purpose. So I think at this point, I would really want that a lot of time when we are writing a case which is on an emerging topic, say for example, a lot of cases which we found this year came in from entrepreneurship and sustainability, and some of them from the ESG perspective also. So these were very, very new area in electric vehicle cases. So these were all very, very new cases. And these are the cases where a lot of organization would actually be encouraging people to write cases, because this also becomes a platform for them to really share what they are doing. So rather than being just a publicity platform, but yes, this is some good work would have actually been done to the organization, and probably that's where this can be taken up. And I think it was a very, very lovely discussion that we had. And I got a comment from one of the participant here that is completely led by females here in the session. So I like to tell that this was not planned. It just happened. Somehow it happened that we were able to get up these people, and it ended up as an all-female panel discussion. But I think I'm very, very fortunate to have fantastic reviewers and journal editors with us to support us in this kind of conversation. And I think we would really like to end up this discussion at this point. Very big applause to all of you, all the three panelists who have contributed today. But I would really want you to stay a little back with us, because we still have few more questions maybe. We don't want to steal the thunder for which the people have joined us today. They are all waiting to hear the winners for the cases, and I would really want you all to be there present for a few more minutes. And with that, I would like to invite, I think Dr. Rajan Saxena has joined us. Dr. Rajan Saxena and Dr. Raj Agarwal have joined us for this session, and this is where we are trying to identify the winners for today and really take the way forward. And I'd like to brief all the participants who have joined us today that Dr. Raj Agarwal heads the CME department, the Center for Management Department of AIMA. And Dr. Rajan Saxena has been the man behind setting up the Case Research Center. He is currently heading up all these academic activities at our case center. He has been instrumental in giving up the conceptual understanding as to how to set up the case center, guiding us at every stage. And we are very, very fortunate that such a dynamic person has been heading us and has been pushing us to our limits to really do something more every time. So with this, I'd like to welcome Dr. Rajan Saxena and Dr. Raj Agarwal for this session for the way forward, and would like you to share some of your insights as to how this whole journey of a case author can be taken further from the time when a lot of people have submitted cases, and now what is the way forward for them.
Thank you very much, Anuja, for this introduction. I would say that it's great efforts are being made today at the India Case Research Center, primarily to make the experiential learning the way of life in the management schools. Most of the time, all management schools do say that, well, we are using case methods, or we are using cases. But my understanding is that in many cases, the very understanding of case itself remains dubious, remains to be corrected. I mean, at times the case is always seen, or at times it is seen as a case history. You tell a story, and you say that, well, I'm doing a case method, or you're using a case method. That doesn't really help in the management education. Case history and a case story, or a story from a company, is helpful in terms of conceptualizing. It's helpful in terms of illustrating certain point of view. But when we talk about decision making, when we talk about problem solving, which is the essence of any kind of a case method, because ultimately at the end of the day, we are developing three major skills, or let's say three major skills apart from many other skills among the students. And this is in terms of problem identification. The second one is in terms of the analytical skills. And the third is in terms of the decision-making skills. Now, if the case doesn't do that, if the case doesn't lend itself to that, then in that case, I'm afraid the case remains incomplete. And the problem comes up when, let us say, even the name of the company or the data is, disguised. Now that becomes a major issue there in that case. So the fictitious case doesn't really help in terms of creating that kind of a learning which we all want as management teachers. So when we were looking at the India Case Research Center getting established at AIMA, our purpose was to really develop that kind of capability and the competences of the faculty in writing good cases which can stand the test of quality of some of the best global case centers itself. Or in a global classroom, they should be able to stand the test of analysis, decision-making, and therefore can be used not just merely in the MBA class, but also in multiple other programs like an executive education programs and some of those areas. So therefore, from that kind of a point of view, we got onto a faculty development, which is, and today what we see is just one part of that whole exercise. I'm so delighted to see that we are today having for the last 3 days, we've had this conference, and also we have had this case competition, where we have had a great support from the case center, the Asian Case Research Center University, where we already have the Angela over here with us. At this point of time, when I joined, she was speaking. And also we have, other two editors, other two ladies from the emerging market case studies, and also Dr. Sharma, who has headed or who has edited Vision, for example, for a fairly long time period that I'm aware of. So getting to know what editors look for, what a case journal would really look for is something important. So as a case writer, I think that the journey is a long journey. A good case can easily take you almost about a year to get it published, or a little more even at times. Because in terms of the data collection, data analysis, and putting it all together, this by itself may take you a fairly long time period, and then going over to the regular review process takes its own time period. So it's a long journey, but at the end of the day, I must say it is a greatly fulfilling journey itself. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been asked to speak on the way forward in this case writing. And the way forward emanates from what we see in our context itself, in the world itself. Because what a case really does is that it does present a context. It presents the company in the context of a certain environment. And today, the day when we realize that the environment is today's environment, which is highly volatile and at the same time uncertain, has created multiple decision challenges and multiple challenges before the companies. I wonder if let us say, our mind really goes when we start looking at the cases, or even when the company gives to us a case, if it mind really goes to some of those uncertainties which today the environment is posing. Whether this had been pandemic did throw up a whole lot of an uncertainty and volatility. It's not that we are over the hump so far as pandemic is concerned. But at the same time, right now, the Russian war in Ukraine itself today has created that kind of an uncertainty. The supply chain, as an example, you find that there is a disruption. The supply chains have been disrupted. Let's think in terms of creating or developing some of the case studies, whether this is in FMCG, or it is in services, or it is in the manufacturing areas. When it comes to primarily from the point of view of operations and supply chain. And how, for example, the challenges that are there today of arising out of the disruptions in the supply chain are today creating a problem for the companies as also for the market itself. At the same time, we have also realized, and this is something which is interesting for us to look at it, that the digitalization of business and the adoption of digitalization across the world is indeed a great opportunity for all of us. Today, this opportunity gives us itself creates many-fold kind of, I would say, avenues for us to develop cases. In India, for example, I wonder if many of us have really applied our mind to how quickly and smoothly we moved over from currency to card system for payments to, let us say, today to a cashless card system, to a mobile payment systems. How, for example, today your mobile phone and your UPI code and your ID is enough for making a payment at any of the retail outlet or for any of your transactions. Does it really lead towards the death of the cards, the debit cards and the credit cards? Start looking at it. These are issues right before us for a case writer. I'm just presenting to you some of those kind of things, challenges that are there. In terms of the digital products, in terms of the digital media, the same thing. For example, how quickly we moved to the OTTs, for example, from a satellite television to an OTT transitioning. How, for example, in education, we quickly transitioned from a classroom, from a blackboard system to, let us say, digital learning models itself. Today, the day where we are finding, very interestingly, that multiple generations of technology coexist, possibly in the same company. We are also seeing an opportunity in terms of seeing, or let's say, collaboration, for example, today exists. Collaboration between companies, collaborations between industries, collaborations between nations, collaborations between people-to-people collaborations. So the faculty-to-faculty level collaborations, the institution-to-institution level collaborations, partnerships that we talk about it. And certainly we are talking about it from the perspective of looking at it in terms of how today the whole technology today is disrupting the entire value chain in the industry itself. My point of view is these are some of the opportunities that are there for us to look at it very closely. So what are the four areas that emerge today for all of us as the case writers? One is in terms of the transformation which is today taking place. Not just mainly in the economy, which is what I said at the time of the inauguration, but in terms of how, for example, the old businesses are getting transformed to new businesses. How, for example, the old products are transforming themselves to digital products. Accordingly, how this organization structures, cultures, and leadership are now today required to be changed. We've got to relook at them. What is happening over there? The assumptions, we need to be challenging them. We need to be looking at how the assumptions are changing now, how the whole paradigms in the business are changing. And as a consequence of which, what are the challenges that are there today for the companies, for the established companies, and in terms of bringing about this kind of a transformation in their organization itself. Also from the point of view of the new customer, understanding this whole new customer, looking at it from the point of view of the business continuity in the times of uncertainty. This whole aspect which I said about the supply chain. The second big area that need to be looked at is in the area of startups, which is what Dr. Pandey was just referring to. Last year we were focusing on that. The startups, ours is an era of startups. Startup in almost every field. So the question is, in terms of how do you make a startup viable? What is happening on the viability? What is happening on sustainability? What is happening on, let's say, how they are expanding the scope, the market scope, the product scope, the business scope, and certainly how are they disrupting the entire equilibrium in the industry in which they are now there. And payment system is just one example which I just referred to in terms of the NPCI, which has smoothly disrupted the entire equilibrium in the payment system itself. The mobile wallets have coolly disrupted the entire equilibrium in the payment system itself. Customer relationship is the third big area which we need to be focusing on. And the fourth big area that we need to look at it is from the point of view of the human resources, particularly from the point of view of what the challenges today that the companies have and how they are reskilling and upskilling their talent, how they're creating a culture of risk-taking, innovation mindset, and developing the leadership pipeline. These are some of the areas that are today opening up to a lot of case studies. And I'm aware of the fact that the work in this area in some of the schools have already begun. For example, when we talk about leadership pipeline, one of the important things is in terms of the development of the resilient pipeline, a resilient leader itself. How do you create a resilient leader? So what is the way forward for all of us? One is in terms of take a look at it, not just merely from a very, very narrow scope of marketing, finance, or HR, or from that kind of a perspective, but go beyond and really look at it as a problem which needs to be resolved by the group of the students or the participants. Therefore, bring in the perspectives from all the disciplines itself, so that there is a business decision that the participant is able to really make. And that business decision would invariably encompass the marketing of finance or HR or operations, or for that matter, let us say even the strategy itself is part of it. Integrate technology, very important part today in the cases is to integrate the technology. For example, can you provide in your case study the links to the interviews that you would have conducted, or links to the companies where you would have done this kind of a discussion with the executive, or can you provide a link to the entire operation or the supply chain of a company that you have really seen? The problems of inventory, for example, are real problems. Apart from interviewing, can you provide certain kind of linkages or link which the student or a participant can really click on as he is getting ready for the class and see actually what is happening in the area of logistics, or let us say where the inefficiencies would be there, or what are the pitfalls in the supply chain, or what are the challenges that are there itself. And the next part of it is in terms of the real-time update that is really required. Even you would realize that by the time the case you have written and it is getting published or it is accepted for publication, that would have easily taken you more than about a year or so in a good journal itself. Now, in which case, and even in AIMA, for example, India Case Research Center, we may take that much over time. During this time period, some changes would have happened. From how do you update it? How do you update your database, for example? How do you update you don't change the facts. Maybe facts need to be updated slightly, but essentially the tilt of the case remains the same. If the framework changes, then in that case, it becomes a very different case. So I'm not referring to that. Framework remaining the same. Shorter cases, it's a time of shorter cases. It's a time of building up online simulations. It's a time of developing instrumentations. so that the students get that kind of an experiential pedagogy, for example, experiential learning itself. Last but not the least is the point of, today, we can also think in terms of creating some short articles, which can then be studied by which can be read, which can be analyzed by the participants, and then that analysis can lead towards a good discussion in the classroom itself. So let me close by saying, ultimately, at the end of the day, we are wanting to develop an analytical mind. We are wanting to develop students' lateral thinking. We are wanting to develop the communication skills of the student. We are wanting them to work in the groups, and so therefore their interpersonal skills which are so very important. Also, in terms of developing the group decision making, which is important in any kind of a corporate itself. So, ladies and gentlemen, what I see is that we have the new world today offers us many, many more opportunities. And if management education has to remain relevant, we have to keep updating our pedagogy tools that we are using. And I'm pretty confident that ICRC is on the right path. And over a period of time, we are going to be presenting to the world, India, the changing India in a global world itself, or in a global context itself. And your cases will help us do that. Thank you very much. Thank you. You're mute.
Thank you, sir. I think it was very, very nice of you to really talk about the India Case Research Center and the way forward. And I think this is the time now. We are now heading up towards the closure of the day. And I think my whole team is now waiting to hear from us, the winners. And I think Dr. Agarwal is already there with us. So I'll take first few minutes to just tell you about what happened in these 2 days. So in nine tracks, we had our case presented. We were joined by over 25 reviewers who helped us into the jury duties. And 60 cases were presented. And I think most of the cases had co-authors. And in some cases, we had 2 to 3 co-authors. And all of them really defended their case very, very well. It was a fantastic learning activity for all of us who were into the part of the jury duty. And I could really gauge from their discussions in the morning. We held a jury meeting. And from the discussions, we could hear from them the happiness they had into getting up, doing up the reviews and sharing up their comments and observations. So we had used the standard criteria that we had used last time for evaluation. 60% weightage was given to the case study and 40% weightage was given to the teaching note. We had arrived for all the case studies which were submitted at the case center were coming up with both these documents. And they were later being shared by the faculty during their presentation, and they defended the questions. I think since this competition comes with an award and a recognition, I think it is now high time. We had said that we'll be announcing awards at 5 o'clock. So it's now we are heading towards it. This competition, as we have talked about, comes with some prizes and some certificates. For us, everyone who has submitted a case at Case Center is a winner. We would anyhow be supporting each one of you into your journey as a case author to get the cases further refined and further ready for publication at our case research center. And we would also like to really make sure that all of you who have joined us benefit to a larger extent, not only as part of the case competition, but their journey as faculty members and get a huge support from AIMA. And we look forward to develop wonderful cases with all of you. I think this whole activity has shown us the confidence confidence that we are ready to reach out to industry and really speak to them that our team of scholars at our case research center are ready to write any good case, and they should not be looking for Harvard to come to them to write a case and paying up heavily for the case writing process. I think we already have a team of people who are now being trained, ready, and have showcased their talent into this process. So with that, I would, I know everybody has been waiting for the results to be out, and I would really want that maybe this is the time I would want Dr. Agarwal to pitch in. I would be sharing up some of the first case winner. So before I do that, I would share my screen for the first case winner. But I would like to bring again put it to records that every case is a winning case for us, because this was a case which was developed with a lot of efforts. I think every faculty who wrote the case had spent up more than a month writing up the case and getting up the NOCs, and some of them have been working on their cases for almost 6-7 months, and before this case actually saw the public the presentation in our case research center. So I would share the very first case, the first case that has been accepted for as a winner case by the jury. I would like to request Dr. Raj Agarwal to announce the name of the winner case. I think it has been displayed onto our portal. I think everybody can see it. Sir, can you announce the winner? Right?
Yeah. She's Praveena Rajiv and Professor Sankarsan Basu from IIM Bangalore, and Praveena is from IIT Kharagpur. I know both of them quite well. And Praveena is a good friend.
Many congratulations to Praveena and Dr. Basu. Their case on ISPRL managing Indian sovereignty on crude oil price risk was a wonderful case. And I think in the morning, I'm fortunate that few of my jury members have also joined in. My colleagues from AIMA have also joined in this process. And they're there with me on in this session. So we had a very tough debate as to who should be declared the winner. This case was declared the winner because not only the case was a very, very strong case, very, very well documented case, but case was also very supportive in a sense that anybody who would want to teach this case comes with a lot of hand-holding for anybody to really take up the case into their classroom. So many congratulations to Dr. Praveena Rajiv and Professor Sankaran Basu. I think it was a wonderful task, and I think I would really want if all of you can unmute yourself and give a huge round of applause to these winning case authors.
Praveena is here. Congratulations, Praveena and Professor Basu.
Right.
Thank you, Dr. Agarwal. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for the honor. Thank you.
Yeah, after so many years.
I know I'm seeing you after a long time. We are not email.
Yeah,
after a long time. Praveena, unfortunately, is not here because she's doing her admissions interviews. So she kind of requested me that if I could step in. So that's her.
Fine.
Okay, with that, I think we would come to the second winner of this competition. And I think, again, the jury had a very, very tough time to really figure out the winner for the second case author for this, because I think they were all struggling to really find out the right person for this case. And again, we had tough competition in a sense that we had very many entries into it, and all the entries into different streams were contender for this case. But I would like Dr. Agarwal to announce the case winner for the second case. So the winner name is being displayed on the screen.
So this is Natu Vainikal, Varnavas and Ramesh and M.V. Ravi Kumar. Congratulations, Mr. Varnavas and Ravi Kumar.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. I would like to just share my heartfelt appreciation and gratitude to none other than Honorable Rajan Saxena sir. He may not know that the encouragement as well as the appreciation that he has given to the faculty for learning and writing and publishing, whichever institution he had been. I have also been such a beneficiary that he may not be very much aware, but I know that he encourages, and I have benefited from that, and that learning has happened. So this has resulted in from years back, whatever he has done. And secondly, I will also thank Professor Dr. Ravi Kumar and my co-author Dr. Ramesh Narasimhan, who has put in collective efforts. And also thank you, AIMA and ICRC. This is a great honor. Thank you.
Thank you, and many congratulations, Professor Barnabas and Dr. Ravi Kumar. I think it was a wonderfully documented case, and again, a case in an emerging area of social entrepreneurship. And I think we spent a couple of, almost a half an hour to really get into this idea as to how we really look into this case and how the detailing of the case was being discussed in our jury session. With that, we come to the third case winner for this competition. This is actually going jointly to two case authors. We tried our best to figure out which one would be the better one, but I think the jury finally took a call that both the cases had equal level of depth, rigor, and both of them deserve to be at the third position. And I would say that the jury had very little choice, because we were getting up two cases which were almost similar to in terms of weightage and everything. So with that, I would like to share my screen and announce the first contender for this third position. And I would request Dr. Raj Agarwal to announce the name. Sir, I think it's visible on the screen now.
Yeah, this is Satyanarayanan Ramachandran. And this Venkateshwaran Ramakrishnan. Marketing of Incredible Champions. Yeah. So congratulations, Mr. Satyanarayanan and Venkateshwaran, Venkatesh Kumar.
Many congratulations to Dr. Satyanarayan Ramachandran, ASA Senthil Kumar, and Venkatesh Ramakrishnan sir. I think your case, a very interesting case on the marketing, was being displayed here. And I think many congratulations, sir. If you are there with us, one word will be very nice. Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Anuja, and thank you, Dr. Raj Agarwal. And it was an exciting experience to participate in this case contest. And we thought we had a unique case in hand, which would not only help the students, but also the faculty, because we were focusing on book marketing and author branding, so which is relevant for all of us. So that way, we are very happy to contribute. And I would like to thank my co-authors, Dr. Senthil Kumar and Dr. Venkatesh Kumar, who were so cooperative in constructing this idea. And also to Dr. N. Chandrasekharan, on whose book, Incredible Champions, all his marketing strategies we documented. He openly agreed and sat with us for long hours in coming up with this case study. So our sincere thanks to Dr. N. Chandrasekharan. And I remember 20 years ago when I started my teaching career with BIM Trichy, we used to have a lot of Harvard cases, and for typical Indian cases, we used to look into many sources. Unfortunately, there weren't many, except for some interesting case studies by eminent professors like Dr. Rajan Saxena, case studies on Jet Airways, Payama Industries, Rasna, and also that. Those were the inspiration for us to come and contribute more. And we thank AIMA for this initiative, and thanks to all of you. It was great participating in this.
Many congratulations, sir. Many congratulations. And with this, I would like to share the third case that actually went in for was the third case which was also identified here. Just give me a minute. Let me share my screen for the third case. I hope I'm able to really make it sure. So I hope, sir, this case author detail I've mentioned here. This is a co-author.
Shweta Kumari and Jitesh Nair. Yeah.
Yeah, many congratulations, Ms. Shweta Kumari. And
yeah, many congratulations.
They can't hear me.
I think.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, Shweta.
Yeah, so we are really delighted to be part of this competition, and we thank my AIMA and my institution and also my co-author for supporting us and participating in this event.
Many congratulations, Shweta. I think that this was a very interesting case which actually came into the area of agriculture technology, agri-tech. And very, very interestingly, the case has been set up and it talks about this company turning out to be unicorn. So I really hope that this journey of the company is like that. We look forward for it turning out to be a unicorn. And many congratulations. And I hope that we will have the case company also know about that they have just won.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Right. So with this, I would like to put on records that apart from these three case winners, we had announced certain. We like to announce certain awards to the case author, which are basically certificates of excellence. As I have been, please, I would request somebody who's there to mute you. As we have been talking about, for us, every case is a winning case, and we had identified 5 cases as the cases which actually go into the excellence category. And we had, it was a very, very difficult task for us to really go through this process. And I think I have got the PPTs just now, but I'm somehow not even able to display the PPTs for the winners within certificate names there. But I'd like to announce here that the 5 authors who are getting up the award for excellence is Dr. Suman Saurabh for his case on signs of financial distress at Jet Airways, the way forward. A very, very fantastic case into finance area. Second case which is meeting our criteria for excellence is written by Dr. Nalini P. This is a case on business environment interface, a case study on Erode Textile Mall Private Limited, a very deeply researched field case, and I think it's been documented equally well, co-written by Dr. Murugam Nandan D. And I think this case would have really many takeaways as far as the case author has written the case fantastically well. Another case again, which we found very, very difficult, we could not include into the winning first 3 winners, was written by Dr. Saloni Sinha and Surbhi Chinnam. This is a case on design thinking. This is something which we have been talking about for quite some time. And again, a primary data case on the Gopal starch industry cases. The other 2 winners for the excellent cases is Dr. Manoj Gaur and Dr. Sunil Kumar for their case on universal heater industry, managing the conflict with the distributor, an excellent marketing case. And the last one in this category is Dr. Hema Yadav, Anshu Singh and Dr. Sagar Wankad case on Andhra Pradesh State Cooperative Bank Credit Beyond Convention. Again, a very, very interesting case which actually landed up. Many congratulations to the author. If they are there with us, one line of there would be good to, we'll like to hear from you.
Dr. Anuja. This is Suman Saurabh here. Good evening, everyone, and thank you for this appreciation. As Professor Rajan Saxena mentioned, that AIMA does a host of activities, and this is one of it. I'll also like to inform the audience here that I had participated in the AIMA workshop in the month of July 2021. And that is where I could actually fine tune this case. And I, with my co-author, Dr. Preeti Roy, we could finish this this case on time and could submit to this AIMA case writing conference. So thank you very much for this opportunity. And I have thoroughly enjoyed the participation here. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you,
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you, jury members, for giving us such kind of appreciation. That means a lot. Thank you. Thank you for hosting such kind of case and encouraging new new research, budding research scholars to just get into this such kind of platform and to have such kind of participation in such kind of global platform. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Very good evening, ma'am. Dr. Anshu this side. So first of all, no amount of words can thank AIMA for giving us this kind of, great opportunity and a lot of good work that AIMA is doing in a lot of unconventional cases which are coming in. So I would also like to thank my co-authors. We were writing this case since a long time. I mean, on the state cooperative banks. So not only it will help in management teaching, but we also expect that, a lot of policy level implications on rural banks, we are trying to fit in into that context. And with this AIMA platform, definitely we hope that we are going to improvise it further. Thank you so much, AIMA.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Good evening. This is Saloni from BIMTech. I'm extremely honored to be a part of AIMA-ICRC competition, and it was being in the team of a very innovative researcher, Professor K.R. Chari. We were able to understand the industry differently, and on behalf of Surabhi and Professor Chari, I take this opportunity to receive the Excellence Award, and it means a lot to us. Thank you, Dr. Anuja, for organizing such a fantastic event.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Sir.
Good evening, ma'am. Good evening, sir. Myself, Dr. Sunil Kumar. I got interested in writing case and all, but once I attended the case writing workshop of Anuja Pandey, ma'am, and that has motivated me a lot to participate in case competitions. And along with that, I would like to thank my co-author because he has assisted me a lot, and he is having, plenty of industry experience of 25 years and all. So he's having a lot of many practical experiences and all, and then and that has helped me to write this case. So I would like to thank AIMA for providing us the opportunity to participate in this case. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Good evening. This is Dr. Nalini this side. Thank you, AIMA, for this wonderful opportunity. And I think I had a very good experience being in all your sessions. This is only my second case, giving, I really, enjoyed getting this award of excellence. Thank you so much. This brings me a lot of interest and inclination to give more cases to AIMA in the future. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. You are on mute, Anuja.
Yeah, I think, thank you, Dr. Nalini. And with that, we will move a little further into our case award ceremony. And I think this is the time where we would like to announce that we also have, apart from the certificate for excellence, we also have certificate for merit. And for that, we have 10 entries there. And I'm very, very fortunate again to really find that some of these entries were so excellent entries. And the jury in the morning, I think we had a real tough time because we were not able to figure out how to really respond to all of these queries and how to really look forward for holding up this ceremony, because I think we were all stuck up as to how these cases would look like and how are we really going to give the prizes for it. But I think we were able to finally identify 10 case studies which were awarded here the certificate of merit. The first one goes to Professor Atanu Adhikari and Dr. Seema Lal for their fantastic case, which is a case on Rangasutra encouraging women through corporate business model. Sir, are you there with us? Can we have a quick word from you?
Professor Adhikari is traveling. This is Dr. Seema Lal this side.
Many congratulations.
Thank you so much. This has been an honor, and I enjoyed presenting the case, and the feedback has been really very helpful in terms of developing. So we'll work on that. Thank you so much, Anuja ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you. I think it was a fantastic case, and we look forward for the full updated case from your side. The second winner in this category is Dr. Rajiv Gupta and Dr. Rajesh Verma and Dr. Shikha Goel. A case, HR case on directionless enterprise, a quest for survival. A very, very fantastic case. I think it was been again debated in the morning as to what was how we really add this case into the winning case category. Many congratulations to Dr. Rajiv, Dr. Rajesh, and Dr. Shikha Goel. Any of you who are there here in this ceremony, please add a word here.
I think they are not here.
Okay. Okay. So I think here my screen is visible, sir.
Yeah, this is visible.
Right. So the third entry into this category is for the certificate of merit is Dr. Bhadra KV. A case on reimagining the future while perceiving today, spin-off of Ed Energy and Manufacturing. Again, a very interesting case on an energy company trying to move further. Dr. Bhadra, are you there with us?
Ma'am, it is just Bhadra. I'm still a research scholar. Thank you so much for the recognition very early on in my PhD journey. Very happy to be associated with AIMA. Thank you so much.
Very nice. Write more and more cases in AIMA's journal. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Hope to get published one day.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes. Many congratulations. And I think the next entry into this category is Dr. Hari Prasad and Dr. Rajesh Mehtai's case, which is a case on did Exide miss the bus in taking up the role of a torchbearer for India in the EV revolution. Many congratulations, Dr. Hari Prasad and Dr. Rajesh Mehtai. Are you there with us?
Yes, ma'am. First of all, thank you so much for this. And in fact, this was our first case writing experience, and it cannot be, bigger than this, to be very frank. And, I profusely thank AIMA for the same. And I also profusely thank my co-author and my guide, Dr. Rajesh Mehtai, for supporting me throughout this journey. And I'm looking forward to contributing to this more and more. Thank you.
Many congratulations once again. And with that, we move on to the next winner for the certificate of merit, Dr. Meera Kapoor and Dr. Archana Shrivastava. Their case on bitter on better, a case of firing, backfiring, a very, very interesting communication and leadership case. Dr. Kapoor, Meera Kapoor, are you there with us? Or Dr. Archana Shrivastava, any of you who was there with us?
Yes, ma'am, we are very much there. And I must say that the last 2 days have been extremely enriching and a great learning experience, such wonderful sessions. And I would just take this opportunity to thank AIMA-ICRC and Anuja ma'am, you especially for your wonderful feedback that I have received on the case. And I thank my co-author, Dr. Archana Shrivastava. Ma'am, if you're there, a quick word from you. And thank you so much for this. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Congratulations there. With that, we'll move on to the next winner, Dr. Vishwanathan SR and RL Durga Prasad. Vishwanathan SR Durga Prasad. I think this is a single author case. Corporate restructuring at Tata Steels. Again, sir, are you there with us? Many congratulations, Dr. Vishwanath.
Dr. Vishwanath, are you here? I think he has gone.
A very, very interesting case. Again, it was highly debated because the jury was very, very tough on really getting him selected on this category. Many congratulations, sir. With that, we would move on to the next winner, Dr. Ranjita Ramachandran, a case on Cafe Coffee Day with Malvika Hekde, a strategic case study. A case study about revival of Cafe Coffee Day and a fantastic journey of Malvika Hekde. I think it was very nicely covered by Dr. Ranjita. Dr. Ranjita Ramachandran, many congratulations. Are you there with us?
I think she has left. Fine. So move to next.
Okay. Okay, and the next one is Dr. Rajesh Kumar Sood. His case on real estate market driven by circle rates or marketing strategy. A very, very interesting case. Again, a newness into the case coming from the real estate business. Sir, are you there with us?
Yes, ma'am. It's very pleasure to hear this. That still I am in the foundation stage. I got this opportunity and very, very motivated, and I will definitely look forward to move further, and very, very happy. And thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Many congratulations, sir.
Yeah. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
I think with that, we have come to the last winner for the certificate of merit. Dr. Vijay Gudi, his case on growth path of Easy Online Education Private Limited. This was something which was coming into edutech area. Sir, are you there with us, Dr.
Yes,
Vinay?
yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much for the opportunity. I'm speechless. Thank you very much. Looking forward for a long professional engagement.
Congratulations to all of you. I think with that, we have come to the end of the awards and the certificates. And I think it's time for a good round of applause. Many congratulations to all of you. And I think it's time to clap for all of you. I think this is the time that you have all done wonderfully well. And I think we would like to tell to all the participants that the certificates for author and co-author would be shared shortly, and they're in the process of getting ready. And this journey is just a beginning for us. I think all of you would have realized that we have been organizing at India Case Research Center. We have been organizing a lot of workshops from the time we set in, and we are happy to note that some of the people who have joined our workshop are now contributing in terms of writing cases and also winning cases, and not only at our platform but also at many other platforms. And that is the piece of encouragement that we have. I think this is the time we would like to put on records that this for us, this is a beginning, and we would like to handhold each one of you into getting up the case further reviewed, copy edited and published with us. And very soon my team members will be reaching back to you, not only to share the certificates. Of course, this is something which we'll be doing in the coming week, because tomorrow being Sunday, we would not be working, but from Monday, we would start working on to getting up all the certificates in place and sending up the hard copy of the certificates. Soft copy of certificates would reach you in a day, I think by Monday or Tuesday. And it will take another 2-3 days to really dispatch the hard copy of the certificates. All the winning partners, we would be reaching out, those who are into the first 3 categories, we'll be reaching out to you to check out the bank credentials so that we can transfer the award money there. And I think somebody, if we could keep on mute, I'll just complete my announcement. So we would be reaching out to all the 4 award winners to share their bank details so that the transfer of money can happen, and the certificates can also be distributed. And we would also try to reach out to you after 10 days, where we would like to reconfirm with you your journey with us for publication. And we would then like to really go about as to how the publication process would work for each one of you. And in case you are still not been able to get an NOC from the organization, how we from AIMA would take up this discussion with the parent organization. So many congratulations to each one of you. And with that, I would like Dr. Raj Agarwal to put in his piece of advice and support for all the members here.
Thank you, Dr. Anuja. Dr. Rajan Saxena has already given a very wide spectrum of changes which are taking place in the environment and how these changes are affecting us. And what I conclude that currently there is nothing like a long run. Lord Keynes has said once that in long run we all are dead. So there is only a short run. technology, digitization, innovation, this has converted this long run of 10 years, 15 years into 2 years, 1 year, 6 months, or even this is what that COVID further accelerated this process. And now this period has come to generally this 5 months, 6 months. After 5 months, 6 months, things are changing very rapidly. This is happening not only at domestic level, but at international level. And likewise, you see that kind of this global changes. Maybe it is war, maybe this is economy, maybe this is COVID. This is making the complete changes in the universe. So therefore, our learning pedagogy, this is also making a rapid transformation. So in that kind of this rapid changes, rapid transformation, what is important that how we are going to deal with our pedagogy of teaching, pedagogy of writing, pedagogy of games, etc., and how we are going to include in our case writing. So then our management education is going to be very, very effective. So I think that this time we have attracted quite large number of cases, and further time to time we will keep organizing workshop, we will keep organizing seminars, workshop, competitions like this, and through various activities of AIMA, I think that we can create this kind of awareness all over India. So then we can make some kind of difference as far as this management education is considered. So with these words, so further I request all of you to participate in AIMA's academic endeavor. We have very, very challenging task with us, which we are performing and which we are making that how this transformation in higher education that may take place. So with these words, I really thank all of you for your participation, for your encouragement, for your support that you have provided to us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. I think I would like to put a formal thank you to all our reviewers who helped us in this process, and all our core faculty team members and our people at AIMA who helped us to keep this particular workshop into a very, very streamlined, very focused event. Their support helped us into really making sure that this turns out to be a great success. And I think I still have my 3 editors from the Editor's Choice panel faculty still being tuned in. Many thank you to Angela, Dr. Shalini, and Dr. Radha Sharma for still being there with us. This is the support that we really look forward to. Many thank you for being there for all our initiative, all our endeavor. I'm very thankful for all the people who have joined us on the very first day. These are the people who we really rarely get a chance to listen to. I think it was a great effort for a lot of people from other countries to really join us, and the time zones which were not very, very conducive to them. And I think with that we would conclude the workshop and the conference. If Dr. Rajan Saxena is there, a final thank you note from him would be something which we'll look forward to before we close down, sir. Dr. Saxena, are you there with us?
I'm here, but I thought that both you and Dr. Agarwal have already expressed your thanks, but let me add from my side, it is such a pleasure to see the award winners and the cases that are there. That have today come up. Superb choices, superb kind of areas, and some of those that are truly are the challenges. For example, the number 1 case, which was in the area of oil price and the risk, for example, today. It's a very contemporary case, or for that matter, let us say some of the other cases that were there. It's very, very contemporary issues. And they're going to add a lot of value to the India Case Research Center. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, and all the participants who have been over here. It's really going to help all of us over here at the India Case Research Center to make a much bigger and a more effective kind of a case workshop and case conference itself. All your thoughts, all your feedback is really going to help us in further taking the cause of case-led education forward. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Saxena. With that, we come to the end of this wonderful conference and competition. Many congratulations to all award winners and many congratulations for all case authors. You are still with us and we would continue our journey for a couple of months before we make sure that every case is being released through the case center. Thank you all for joining. Have a good day, a good weekend, and keep in touch with AIMA Case Research Center. Thank you all.
Good job. Hearty congratulations to the entire AIMA team, led by Dr. Rajan Saxena and Dr. Raj Agrawal.